Well, good afternoon, folks. Joe with Woodcraft. Thanks for joining me today. We have a first for my channel. We do have a knife review today, but this is the first time that TOPS has made it as far as a knife review on my channel. But first off, John with Wingman115, he did a review on this blade probably 2, maybe 3 months ago, and I was really impressed with it. And I was talking with him about it. He's like, well, you know, if you like it so much, why don't I just send it to you, try it out, do a video on it, and let us know what you think. So today is that day. So John, thank you very much for loaning me this knife. I do appreciate it very much. Just as a point of note, this knife, as soon as it leaves my hands, it is going to be shipped out to Black Rifle Survival, a relatively new channel on YouTube here. He does a lot of similar stuff to me with his own flavor, obviously. Anyway, folks, I suggest you check him out. He puts on a really good channel, a really good show. He's very entertaining to watch and extremely informative. So I will put a link both to John's channel and to Black Rifle Survival's channel in the description of this video. But enough yakking, guys. Let's go ahead and get on with this review because we have a lot of ground to cover and I don't want to take up too much of your time. So that being the case, let me go ahead and properly introduce you to this knife. This is the TOPS Cochise. And what really stood out to me about this blade is that this is like almost, at least on paper, the perfect mix between a tactical style blade and a woodsman style blade. Get you a close up here real quick. Obviously it's dirty. I've been using it quite a bit this morning. As you can see here, it is a saber type grind with a secondary edge. It does have a fair amount of jimping on it. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. It has a pretty pronounced pommel on it. It is a drop point, and it also does have a very minor recurve here. I would actually say it's not exactly recurve. I mean, it starts it, but it doesn't come out the other side. It is 1095 steel, so it is really easy to hone back up. The spine is nowhere near close to 90 degrees, so you folks out there that like to strike a ferro rod with the spine of your knife, this is not going to do it for you. Now, a lot of you guys know, I don't particularly care for jimping, and I don't like form-fit handles, so to speak. You know, I like Coke bottle handles, I like broomstick style handles, stuff like that. But, you know, I've got, I guess, oddly shaped hands in a lot of people, and so, you know, just knives that have the finger grooves already made out, they just typically do not fit my hand. This one, it does. This handle fits me like a glove. Now, as far as not liking jimping, typically I would say jimping has no place on a knife, at least for me. That's a personal preference thing. I'm not just laying out a blanket statement there. Just for me, jimping doesn't do much for me. This one, however, mixed with the finger grooves and the jimping for my thumb right here, it locks it in my hand. It is not going anywhere. The jimping is not aggressive, it's not painful, it doesn't hurt, but it is aggressive enough that when you lock it down, it's not going anywhere. You don't have to worry about losing your grip, whether you're wet, cold, wearing gloves, or whatever. Anyway, enough of my famous rambling. Let's go ahead and run down the specs so you guys are more informed about this knife, and then we'll get on to some Woodcrafty type stuff. The TOPS Cochise overall length is 9.75 inches. The blade length is 4.5 inches long. The actual cutting edge is 4 inches long. The blade thickness is 0.19 inches. The blade shape is what they call the hunter's point. The blade steel is 1095 with a Rockwell hardness of 56 to 58. The finish on the blade is tactical gray. The handle is black linen micarta. The knife weight by itself is 10.1 ounces. The weight with the sheath is 13 ounces flat. I do like the pommel here. It fits the crook of your thumb nicely. It really locks it in. If you're going to be stabbing into wood like that, it really allows you to lock it in and not have to worry about slippage. Back to the drop point, guys. As you can see here, it is a slight drop point. It does have a very minor false edge or swedge, whichever you want to call it here. That does the angle there. I'm not going to get into the whole scientific aspect of it, but the angle here, it does create for a stronger tip. The swedge itself aids for, you know, stabbing and you know, slicing up near the top because it does thin the point out. It also aids in penetration. But I can say the tip on this is extremely stout. I have stabbed and pounded and pried with this thing, and it does extremely well. The saber grind on this, it is an excellent slicer. It does an excellent job at slicing for feather sticks, for food prep. As far as the jimping goes, like I said, it really locks it into your hand. So no matter what your angle, if you're doing push cuts or feather sticks or whatnot, if your hands are wet, things are slippery, it locks it in. You can work at whatever angle you need to work at. You can put whatever force you need to put into it, and you don't have to worry about losing your grip. So mix the slicing ability of this saber ground edge along with this jimping, you can really do some fine push cutting work. You can do some strong push cutting work. You can make some killer feather sticks with it. Again, going back to the saber grind on this, it does go up just above the halfway point of the blade, which makes it a very nice wedge. So if you're batoning, splitting wood, stuff like that, it does an excellent job. And again, with that narrowed surface, it creates an angle along the lower side of this spine, which aids in strength. So you can really pound on this blade and not have to worry about breaking your knife, because between the 1095 strength of the steel, and TOPS has that heat treat of 1095 down, between that heat treat and the angles on this spine, you can pound on this blade and feel safe in that it's not going to break on you. As far as the price point on this blade, I was really surprised when I looked it up. It's $190. I honestly expected it to be $30 or $40 more than that for a TOPS knife. So for a TOPS knife, it is affordable. But what can I say to sum this up? Obviously, I like the knife. There's no hiding that. To be frank with you, if I had $190 right now, I would probably go ahead and pull the trigger. I really like the knife. Aesthetically, it is really nice. Functionally, it is awesome. Anyway, again, this is the TOPS Cochise. Thank you guys very much for being here today. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you found it informative, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Guys, if you enjoy content such as this, please make use of the subscribe button right down here. And as always, guys, hit up that comment section. Let's talk about this knife, knives you like that are somewhat similar to this, maybe knives that you carry in the woods that you've seen do similar activities to what you've seen today. Anyway, thanks again for being here today, and I will see you next time. You guys have a great day.